Hazak Baruch and good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us on this beautiful Thursday evening as we are studying together Pirkei Avot. Last Mishnah of chapter 4. Let us share the screen and jump right in. So here we are. We said yesterday that God does not take bribes. And Hakol lefi hacheshbon. That was yesterday's Mishnah. Everything is going to be according to the counting, according to the reckoning. Please listen to yesterday's class to get further clarification on that. Next line. Ve'al yiftahacha yitzrecha. Do not let your evil inclination promise you shehasheol bet manos lach. Wow. Don't let your evil inclination promise you that the grave will be an escape for you. One should not delude themselves into thinking, like some heretics believe, that in the world to come there is no judgment, there is no judge. That is the reason that people live a life without any responsibility, because they believe that there is nothing to answer to. Let din ve'let dayan, the famous words that Cain said to his brother Hevel. Cain says, there is no judge, there is no judgment, there is no next world, there is no afterlife. And sometimes the Yetzer Hara will convince a person that there is no reward and punishment, and therefore do what you like and sin however much you like. And by the way, don't worry about getting punished, because you could just end your life in a second and there's no more pain, there's no more problems. You know, something very interesting that I want to speak about for a few minutes, and that is the sin of suicide. Okay? We don't often speak about this, but it's interesting because the halakha says that somebody that, God forbid, takes their own life, not only they don't enter the next world, but the halakha says that we don't even bury such a person in a Jewish cemetery. Right? Bar minan, we should never know of any of these things. What's the idea of here? You know, if a person's a sinner, we bury them in a Jewish cemetery. But when a person takes their own life, yes, it's a sin. And by the way, if someone's a murderer, they get buried in a Jewish cemetery. So what's the difference if you kill people or if a person takes their own life? And the answer is that halakha is not talking about someone who is in a bad space, God forbid, somebody who is not mentally or emotionally well. That's not the Mishnah. The halakha is not talking about those people. When the halakha says that such a person is not buried, it's because they have a certain philosophy, and their philosophy is that I can take my life because I'm not happy with my life here, and therefore why endure pain? Why have punishment? Let me just end my life, and there is no afterlife. It's the mindset of a heretic, of an apostate, of a apikores. It's someone who does it on purpose because they don't accept the afterworld. That's why it's such a severe sin. It's not the same as, God forbid, people today that are not mentally well or emotionally well, that, God forbid, take their own lives. But this is what the Mishnah is trying to tell us. Don't convince yourself that you could just end your life and then you're going to go on into a forever sleep, that you don't have to answer to anybody, there's oblivion, there's nothing to... It's not true. It's not true. And if we don't correct our ways here, there's a debt, and the debt must be paid. Don't let the Yetzer Hara convince us. Don't worry, do whatever you like, and then you'll just escape. Hitler, Yimach Shemo, when they were coming for him, what did he do? He took his life. He made a very big mistake, because he thought that I could just end it and then that's it. They'll never get me. You can't kill me when I'm dead. You can't torture me in my death. Of course they can. Even more painful, and he's going to burn forever, Yimach Shemo, because we believe that there is an afterlife. And that's the real place of judgment for the soul. The real pain is in the next world. And therefore we have to be very careful to remember there is no escape. By the way, I want to just say something. There's no escape for big sins, and there's no escape for small sins. Sometimes we have a misconception that as long as I I'm doing big sins. So the small sins go under the radar unnoticed. Right? Kind of like if I'm cheating on a diet and I'm eating so many bad foods, then what's one more French fry gonna do? Right? I'll tell you a beautiful story. One time, the Gaon Mevilna was traveling and he met a Jewish apostate. Okay? Well, the apostate asked for a glass of whiskey, and the Gaon told the host to make sure that the apostate says a beracha. Right? What beracha is whiskey, by the way? Right? Shehakol nihiya b'dvaro. Okay? Every liquid is shehakol except for grape juice. Right? Grape juice or wine goes up a level to hagefen. All other liquids go down from ha'etz or ha'adama, whatever you're drinking. It goes down to a shehakol. So he told the bartender, he said, make sure that the guy says a bracha on the whiskey. So the apostate said back, why should I recite a bracha? I'm a goy. I'm no different than a Gentile. I basically live the same lifestyle as a goy. I completely deny and denounce God. And the Gaon Mevilna replied, do not speak such foolishness. You are a full-fledged Jew with all the duties that it entails. You will be punished for even the slightest infraction. Don't think that just because you decided to go all out, so it's just one big punishment for denying God. No. Every Shema, every Amidah, every Tefillin, every Shabbat, every ounce of kosher. We go to a not kosher restaurant, God forbid, let's say. Right? Let's say that's where we're holding. And we're tempted, so we go to a not kosher restaurant. We should not let the Yetzer Hara convince us that it's all or nothing. Oh, look at you. You're already here. You may as well get all the not kosher wine. You may as well get all the not kosher meat. You may as well get the meat and cheese together. No, it's not true. We're going to have to answer up for every single detail. And therefore, just because we fail in one area, we should still we shouldn't let the Yetzer Hara convince us that the remainder areas are not important. Okay? That's another way that sometimes the Yetzer Hara tries to play in our minds. The real question of all of this, why is the Mishnah telling this to me? Remember, you're going to get judged. Why are you telling me? Is the Mishnah trying to scare us? Is trying to get us depressed? Trying to get us to feel bad? It's not so encouraging. Rabbi, I don't like these Mishnayot, Rabbi. They're very depressing. They're not positive. They're not upbeat. They're not helping me. I'm not liking that every single other line is, remember, there's no favoritism. And by the way, God doesn't forget. And remember, everyone's going to die. And he's the judge. And he's the litigant. And he's the accuser. And he's the this. And he's the that. It's very depressing, all of this, Rabbi. Can we move on to the next Mishnah, please? That's how I feel a little bit. And the answer is, if you're approaching a bridge that has a toll, you will find a sign a few miles beforehand that says, toll approaching. Why is it telling you? Is it trying to get you nervous? What's the goal of the sign that tells you that there's a toll? The answer is very simple. It's giving you enough time to prepare. Today we have Easy Pass. You don't need to prepare. But back then you had to pay with quarters or coins. You have enough time to get the change that you need. Well, that is exactly what the rabbi is trying to do over here. Rabbi Elazar is not here to scare us. To the contrary, he loves us. He is here to warn us. He is here to give us enough time to prepare. Because you know what's going to happen otherwise? Person's going to get to their deathbed and they're going to scream, Rabbi, why you didn't warn me? Why you didn't wake me up? So this is his wake up. This is him giving us enough time to do what we call teshuvah. And what does teshuvah look like? How do we prepare for this day of judgment? There's no test that we could learn and study and read the answers. It's not a written test. And the answer we said actually a couple of days ago. Whoever passes judgment down here will be able to avoid judgment up there. What that means is that if we are afraid of judgment in the heavens, and we want to circumvent that, we want to avoid God judging us, very easy. All we got to do is one thing. Judge ourselves. Judge ourselves. We got to sit down at the end of the day, and we got to go through the day. What did I do? How was my prayer? How was my learning? Did I say berachot before and after? How much did I concentrate on those berachot? How was my tefillin today? How was my chesed today? Did I call the people that I needed to call? Did I spend enough time with the people in my life that I need to spend time with? Was I honest in business? To go through the day and to judge ourselves, but not a fake heke judging, a real passing of judgment. And it's not so easy, by the way. But our rabbi said it. If there's judgment below, and if we judge ourselves, there is no need for a judgment from above, from the heavens. Once you pay off a debt, the debt is gone. The debt is paid off. And there's two places that we could pay the debt. Down here or in the heavens. We choose, by the way. Isn't that amazing? God's letting us choose when we want to pay it back. We either pay it back in the next life, or we could pay it down here early, and it's much easier. We pay a debt by simply correcting our ways. If there's someone that we owe money to, guess what you got to do? You got to pay them back the money. Someone's feelings that you hurt, you got to call them and you got to apologize. Somebody that this, somebody, all we got to do is fix the wrongs that we did. This is what's called teshuvah. And it's such a beautiful, easy way out. To sit down, and again, it's not easy, because sometimes we trick ourselves and we forget. The Mesilat Yesharim says, this that I'm telling you right now. And I remember when I was in yeshiva, every Thursday night, my Rebbe used to give a Mishmar class, and it was on Mesilat Yesharim. I'll never forget. Rabbi Klein, he gave us such a beautiful Mesilat Yesharim class. We waited all week for this. And I'll never forget, he told us when he was up to this line of the Mesilat Yesharim, that if you want to succeed in life, there's only one way. And it's called Pishpush and Mishmush. To go through our day, to go through our deeds, to go through our actions, and to ask ourselves, which ones should we keep? Which ones should we get rid of? It's a simple process. That's step one. This that I did today, I'm very proud of it. I should keep doing that. This that I did today, I'm not so proud of. Tomorrow, I'm going to not do it. And by the way, unfortunately, God forbid, again, there are people that pass judgment on themselves and it doesn't end well. They pass judgment on themselves. They realize how horrible they are. They realize how ugly they are. They realize how evil they are. And it causes them, again, God forbid, to commit suicide. Why? Because there's a very big difference between judging who you are and judging what you do. The halakha never wants us to judge who we are. We are good people. We shouldn't judge who we are. We should judge what we do. If we judge who we are, then we'll get very afraid and very scared, and we'll start saying how about ourselves, we're so ugly and nasty and this and that, the other. We should not judge who we are. We are good people. All halakha ever tells us is to judge what we do, our deeds, our actions. Very important, by the way. When we're judging people, when we're criticizing people, our children, people in our world that we need to rebuke, never label. Never label. You're so bad. You are so lazy. You are so irresponsible. You are so not serious. You are so this. You are so right. Never label. Always speak about, and this is a very important lesson in general when criticizing. Don't ever, it's funny what I'm saying, don't ever use extremes. Don't ever, right? Don't ever use don't ever. Right? When we're criticizing, when we're rebuking, keep it to the action. Instead of telling the person, why do you always ignore me? Why do you never do what I say? Keep it on the topic. Listen, I asked you before to bring something from the basement. I had guests. In the future, if you don't mind, Just next time if I ask you to do something, to just take care of it as soon as you can. Thank you so much. Instead of rebuking the person, just talk about, keep it on the topic. What's the issue? The issue is this, so just rebuke this. Don't rebuke them, don't talk about them, don't talk about what they always do. I would like it if you can, please keep your clothes in the hamper, not on the floor next to the hamper, right? What happens when we label people, or if we label ourselves, we enter a very bad place, a very scary place, and God forbid, that's what causes people to do certain things that are not so good for themselves. That's not what the halakha ever wants us to do. The halakha wants us to judge what we do, to judge our actions, not to judge who we are. We are good people. We have a piece of Hashem in us, and that will never change. We have to change our ways. That's fine. Changing your ways is a great thing. And that's what the Mesilat Yesharim says. You need pishpush and mishmush. You need to look into what you're doing, and then you need to look in within what you're doing. Is there something specific that you can do better? For example, I prayed today. That's a check. But maybe I could have prayed better. That's getting nitty-gritty. That's getting deep into each crevice, into each crack of each mitzvah. I did chesed today, that was good. But maybe, you know what? I could have been a little bit more generous. I could have been a little bit more encouraging. I could have been a little bit more patient. Again, and I'll tell you something that my rabbi told us. My rabbi told us that to do this every night, it's so important that the Yetzer Hara knows that if you start doing this, you will become successful. And he will fight you tooth and nail to make sure that you never do it. Because he knows the second you do this, it's game over for him. All you need to do is think. And the second you start thinking about your life and judging yourself and going through your day, he's finished. He's done. Bye-bye. And he don't want to. He's going to do whatever he can to make sure you don't do that. And he will fight you. He'll let you learn Torah. He'll let you pray. He'll let you give tzedakah. He'll let you do everything. But on this matter, he'll die before he lets you do it. This is the hardest thing. And my rabbi told us back then. My rabbi said Thursday night, I wonder how many of the boys in this classroom will start doing this starting tonight. Because let me tell you, I can guarantee you, 99.9% of you will not do it. Because this is the last stop for the Yetzer Hara. If you do this, he's out. So he's going all out on this. So very, 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 very good idea. You know what? Maybe as a class, we could do the following. Okay? This would be awesome, no? Maybe for the next week. Till Bedikat Chametz, next Thursday night. Maybe it would be an awesome idea if we just wrote down for the next 7 nights, not on Shabbat, of course. We could do it in our head on Shabbat. But you could take out your phone. You could just make a little note for yourself and write it to yourself and then delete it. No one has to ever see it. But maybe just to go through our day and to list 2 things that we did today that we're proud of, and then 2 things that we did today that we're not proud of. You know what? And that's enough. Let's just do that. Just to at least define and to say it and to write it itself is already very powerful. Okay? Who's in? I'm going to do this tonight. Okay? I'm in. Okay? Yeah, Leslie, you're in. Marie, Mindy, you're in. Okay? I love that. Okay? Yeah, Tara's in. We're all in, Be'ezat Hashem. Okay? And you don't even have to tell me that you did it. You could lie. Okay? You could just, Rabbi, I did it. It was amazing. I'm going to start wearing a skirt and wig, and I'm going to start wearing a beard now. Okay? Beautiful. You could lie to me that you did it. It doesn't matter. But let's try to do it as a group. That would be awesome. And by the way, if there's someone on this group or a friend that you want to do this with, and then give each other strength and chizuk, and you could just checking in, texting you, did you do it tonight? Did you do it? You know what I'm saying? Just double check, to give each other, because people that do things in pairs are very, very powerful. So that's, I think, an amazing idea, how we can judge ourselves. Not more than two. Two good, that's it. Don't do more than two. Okay, I'm going to try to do this tonight, Beli Neder as well. Say Beli Neder, by the way. Everyone say Beli Neder, because we don't want to make a vow and then we don't do it by mistake or we get carried away. Okay, by the way, in the Persian world, Beli Neder means not happening. You say to someone, hey, come over. He says, okay, Beli Neder, it means no. No, not happening. Yeah, support group, okay? Love this, okay? Hi, everyone. My name is Ariel. Okay, fine. So this is the Mechadedei Tefei. Our rabbis tell us that chavrutot, people that are study partners, can strengthen each other even more. And it's, I think it's something beautiful if you could find a partner to do this with. But as we judge ourselves, this will be such a beautiful, fantastic way to avoid having to get judged in the heavens. Just two, okay? That's what we're going to do tonight. Two things that we're proud of, two things that we're maybe not so proud of. And that's it. That's it. And close your phone, give yourself a pat on the back, take a drink, go to sleep, right? Maybe, and we'll check in a week and see, how it went. If anyone would like to text me or to call me, just to discuss, that would be awesome, But to remember that this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity. And we don't got to go back to what we did three months ago. Rabbi, I don't remember everything. Okay, don't worry about that. Let's just start today. Today we remember, or whatever we could remember of today, just two things that you're proud of. And in a week, let's check in and let's see, how do we feel about ourselves? I don't know, maybe it'll work. I don't know. I'm going to do this also. First time for me that I'm going to actually commit to do this for a week consistently. On Shabbat, we obviously can't write, so we'll just do it in our minds. But love that. Okay, Rachel, Hazak Baruch, getting your friend on board. Be'ezrat Hashem, harbe hatzlacha. Okay, everybody. Anyway, we'll stop over here. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. I want to wish you all a Shabbat Shalom. And we'll see you all next week, okay? Monday night, Be'ezrat Hashem. We're on still next week. Although it's the week before Pesach. We should be on. We'll take it, I guess, a day at a time. Either way, Shabbat Shalom. And we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.